This is a presentation for Film Higher Level. My name is Bo Hitzer and my IB number is 000889017. The film I will be going to analyze is The Shawshank Redemption from 1994, directed by Frank Darabont. The extract I chose to analyze is from 1 hour 45 minutes and 30 seconds and ends 5 minutes later at 1 hour 49 minutes and 48 seconds. Frank Darabont, the director of Shawshank Redemption, was born in a refugee camp in 1959 in France. His parents were Hungarian and brought him to America, where he settled with his family in Los Angeles and attended Hollywood High School. His first movie job was as a production assistant on the 1981 low-budget film Hell Night. He spent the next 6 years working in the art department as a set dresser while trying to become a writer. His first produced writing credit was on the 1987 film A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors. Darabont is one of the 6 filmmakers in history with the unique distinction of having his first 2 feature films receive nominations for the Best Picture award: The Shawshank Redemption, which had 7 nominations in total, and The Green Mile, which had 4 nominations. The extract I chose is the scene right before Andy escapes from prison and his friends think he actually killed himself. The scene starts with Andy and Red debating whether or not to get busy living or to get busy dying. The scene ends with the guard finding out that Andy escaped, and we see Red worried, thinking he killed himself. The extract portrays the overall genre of the movie, which is crime and drama. The extract especially portrays the drama genre, and so much suspense is built up. Drama films often rely on emotional and relational development of the characters, which is exactly what this film does, especially the extract, as it portrays Andy through the eyes of the prisoners and guards, and it also portrays his dreams and hopes. This extract is so critical in the film, as it is Andy's breaking point, and the audience is not sure whether or not he chose to live or to die, as the movie has been foreshadowing both possibilities. One of the central themes of the movie is social justice and hope. Andy, the protagonist of the film, who was sentenced 2 consecutive life terms in prison, was struggling to prove his innocence, which made it very evident in the film that justice is a very complex concept. The other theme, hope, is very important in the film as well. Andy never lost hope of being found innocent. He knew he had to stay alive and managed to do it while keeping his dignity. Just like he told Red, you can't let hope die, you have to keep it in your heart. The man can't touch what's in your heart. In the next few minutes, I will guide you through a textual analysis of this extract, showing how this extract portrays the film as a whole by specifically focusing on the use of shot composition, lighting, color, and editing.
I don't think you ought to be doing this to yourself, Andy. It's just shitty pipe dreams. I mean, Mexico is way the hell down there, and you're in here, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, right. That's the way it is. It's down there, and I'm in here. I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
A 2-shot medium close-up was used at this particular moment to foreshadow the fact that both men will choose the same destiny, which is either to get busy living or to get busy dying. However, the dialogue still leaves Andy with the option of suicide.
Andy.
Red, if you ever get out of here, do me a favor.
However, at the wide shot right after the dialogue scene, we see that Andy is choosing life as he walks out of the shadow in the frame and into the light side of the frame.
Sure, Andy. Anything.
There's a big hayfield up near Buxton. You know where Buxton is?
There's a lot of hayfields up there.
One in particular. It's got a long rock wall with a big oak tree at the north end. It's like something out of a Robert Frost poem. It's where I asked my wife to marry me. We went there for a picnic and made love under that oak, and I asked and she said yes. Promise me, Red. If you ever get out, find that spot. At the base of that wall, you'll find a rock that has no earthly business in a Maine hayfield. A piece of black, volcanic glass. There's something buried under it I want you to have.
What, Andy? What's buried under there?
You'll have to pry it up.
During the scene where Andy is talking to Red, the over-the-shoulder shots portray the intensity of the conversation as they are being portrayed as physically and mentally being very close to each other. The dolly in close-up to Red's face intensifies the shot and calls for suspense. The audience often remembers this scene as we get so close to Red and his emotions through Andy's view for the first time. Andy shares a story of him asking his wife to marry him in a hayfield under an oak tree. The building on the left of Andy's face can be interpreted as a church, though it is actually one of the prison buildings. This symbolic building intensifies the scene and makes the audience connect to Andy more, as he literally ended up in prison because of his wife and was once in the church with her, where their story started. After the conversation shots and the over-the-shoulder shots, we see that Red stands in between the shadow and the light. This suggests that he is coming closer to a decision due to Andy's previous words, though he has not made a complete decision yet.
No, I'm telling you, the guy's talking funny. I'm really worried about him.
You gotta keep an eye on him.
That's fine during the day, but at night he's got that cell all to himself.
Oh, Lord.
What?
Andy come down to the loading dock today. He asked me for a length of rope,
Rope?
6 feet long.
And you gave it to him.
Sure I did. Why wouldn't I?
Jesus, Haywood.
Hey, how was I supposed to know?
Remember Brooks Hanlon?
No. And he'd never do that. Never.
I don't know. Every man has his breaking point.
In the dining hall scene, there are long cuts and not as many of them. This builds up the tension and the suspense in the film. They start to realize something that most audiences realize at that point too. The slow close-up to Red's face allows us to see his emotions, especially the doubt on his face. It makes the audience doubt Andy's decisions too, because we get so close to Red's emotions, which they almost transfer to us as well.
Your deposits tonight.
Another symbolic shot is used when Andy closes the warden's safe. We can tell that this shot has a real purpose and symbolism. It symbolizes the theme that Andy is the one who brings light to the prison. This exact shot can also be seen when Andy has escaped from prison and the warden is looking through the hole he escaped through. Either a picture or a poster covered both of these holes. These shots connect to each other in a unique way and really highlight the theme of hope and Andy bringing light to the prison. When Andy walks out of the warden's office, after polishing his shoes, we see Red behind his cell bars. Andy is walking freely to his cell, which again suggests that Andy is free while Red isn't. This is very ironic because Andy's emotions portray mere sadness, and thus the audience thinks he will actually kill himself. Finally, when the lights go out, we can hear that all the lights are being turned off in the prison and Andy's light section is last. Once the light actually turns off, Andy's face is half lit and we see him looking to the left of the frame, which is into the light. This suggests he is choosing life. However, he then takes out the rope and the audience is confused once again. The audience often thinks he will use this rope to hang himself now. The camera cranes upwards and has a medium close-up of his face. His face is still half lit. The shot ends with him looking up, and that is the final clue we get about Andy's decision on whether to live or to die. Finally, The Shawshank Redemption from 1994, directed by Frank Darabont, has been ranked as #1 on IMDb's top 250 movies of all times. It has stood out in film history because it fits all generations. Hope and social justice are two themes that will always do well through any generation. On top of this, the amazing actors, story, cinematography, editing, and specific choices made by the filmmakers is what make the movie stand out on top of its main themes.